based on popular demand on the poll. This is my review of Hiramashpa's new manga series, Deadrock. Chapter 1. Because this is Chapter 1, this is really just an introduction chapter, so I'm just going to talk about all the main characters and also the premise of the entire area. We learn that there are 3 realms. The realm of the demons, realm of the humans, and I'm assuming the realm of angels, I guess, like heaven. Of course, that has not been introduced at all. And apparently, the people in the underworld are all trying to get there to the human realm for their own specific reasons. And the only way through is through this school. It's really not a school, it's more like the Hunter exam, where if you complete it and graduate, you basically get to be one of the candidates to go to the human realm and do whatever the hell you want there. Most likely rule over it. Apparently, every year, only about 2 to 3 people actually graduate from the school, so this means this is going to be a very heavy competition. The one who permits the demons to go to the human realm is God. Now, the thing is, it's not really entirely clear if this is actually, God, said to be the rule of all 3 realms, but the thing is, he seems to show favoritism to the demons, so I'm not sure if he was like demon lord that took over or what, or there was a conflict between good gods and evil gods, and this dude just won out. None of that's been explained at all. All we know is that this guy is just a terrible bastard. Now, the majority of the students are already admitted through recommendations and such, but there's also a policy of walk-on, where you can apply just by walking on and taking on the exam. And, that's where we get introduced to the main character. Yakuto. Introduction is basically him being super nervous and high-strung, which once you learn what his end goal is, it makes sense why he's so nervous, because he has a complete 180 with his personality. He also gets stepped on by another character who's apparently descended from Thor. As such, he's a giant who's able to change his side from being a giant to being average-sized man. His name is Honey. By the way, that thing where everyone is descended by something important or amazing from the past, it's basically every character. So yeah, Honey is descended from Thor, and he's basically a golem. Yeah, a pottery golem is the best way to put it. He's actually a really sweet guy who doesn't like to hurt people, and at the same time, he's kind of a judgmental ass. It's a weird combination of a personality, but the point is, 2 of them actually become friends real quick, actually. So the exam is being handled by the biology science teacher, Maxwell, who is basically a Frankenstein kind of guy where he is just a mad scientist who likes to mess with people's corpses. Apparently, he's world famous in the underworld because everyone seems to love him, especially the ladies, which is really weird because he's really creepy looking. Then again, everyone's basically either semi-human looking or a monster, so it doesn't really surprise me that he would be considered attractive. And the exam he has decided upon is actually quite simple and disturbing, which is that you will all be dropped into ant hell, which is they put on ant hill, and they have 1 hour to escape. The ant hell is basically, once again, just an ant hill, but giant, ferocious ants that will devour you. Now, the way the power system works in this place is the lower the level, the more dangerous that floor is. Currently, they're on floor 666. As such, the majority of the demons taking this exam have no chance, and they're just getting slaughtered by the ants. And to put into perspective just how weak these people are, and the fact they even thought they had a chance in taking an exam on floor 666, they're all intimidated by Garo the Minotaur, who is the boss of floor 27. I don't think I need to explain to you the math on how there's hundreds of floors difference in scale of power between these ants and Garo, and yet they're all afraid of Garo. Yakuto is about to be killed by one of the ants. Well, I say that, but I don't think this thing can even damage him. So he's about to be attacked by one of the ants when he's actually saved. When he's saved by an ice swordsman named Heinrich. Heinrich is descended of Finir, the wolf that would eventually eat Odin and cause Ragnarok. This guy is actually one of the more powerful examinees, obviously. He's going to pass, and he's well known as a threat because he froze the entirety of floor 306. Personality-wise, he seems to be very kind, but at the same time hard on the outside, because he basically threatens to kill them even though he has no intention of doing so. And even later on when he's injured, he's willing to get help from Yakuto to basically walk out of the anthill. I forgot to mention, the reason why Honey wishes to go to the human realm is to study it. He's basically a scholar. In fact, he studied pretty much everyone in the underworld, to the point where he's able to accurately explain who are the people who are most likely going to pass the exam. And he basically points out a bunch of them, not just Hanir, but also Friar, who is descended from Ifrit, and as you can imagine, is an insane person who enjoys fighting and fire. Now, originally I thought she enjoyed fighting, but we then later on learned she just enjoys violence in general. But yeah, she's just having fun roasting ants. Renzin, who is descended from Orochi, he's a swordsman and kind of a cocky guy. Helver, who's descended from one of the Hangentakuris, which are the 100-handers from Greek mythology. He's a four-armed, scarab-looking motherfucker. It's really hard to describe him because he's in silhouette, and we actually don't get to see him later on in the story either. He's the only individual who goes missing from the anthell. And then finally, Makoto, who is descended from a lich, and so she's a necromancer. Funny thing is, this is the one character that Yokoto actually compliments because she's very gorgeous. So the Minotaur shows back up and smashes Honey without even giving him a warning, and basically is picking a fight with Yokoto. The reason for this is because Yokoto accidentally killed like 10 people earlier in the chapter, and this guy is just jealous, I'm guessing, that he wasn't the one who pulled off a big commotion like that at the beginning. He wants to prove that he's the badass. It's really stupid. Point is, he attacks him, and it does not go well. Yokoto reveals that he is descended from dragons, a black dragon to be specific, and he just casually transforms his arm into a dragon arm and just rips off the Minotaur's arm. The Minotaur obviously begins to freak out because apparently all the dragons went extinct, at least they're supposed to, and he kind of starts begging for his life, but it's too late. Yokoto is pissed and he wants him dead, and he just fucking one-shots him and he just splatters him against the wall. He then puts Honey back together, poorly, but apparently this doesn't matter any, because once again, Honey is like a clay doll, so it's like he can just regenerate, I'm guessing. I don't know if you just give him proper surgery, I guess. I don't know. Honey isn't really explained yet what he can and can't do. And so the results of the exam is 7 passed, 7 were able to escape, but only after the hour, so they failed, and then another 985 died. And of course, the guy descended from Hangentakuris went missing, so his whereabouts are just unknown. So 3 months have passed. At the basically entrance ceremony, the students that are inducted are pardoning. There's currently 207 of them, the 7 who passed the entrance exam, and then the 200 that were already guaranteed in. We also learn how the school structure is set, so there are classes A through F. Classes A through E are all the students that were already admitted. There are 40 per class, and then class F are the walk-ins who survive, so that would be 7. Then we receive a proper introduction to all of the main characters who are going to be in Class F. Friar, Renzin, and Henny, Makoto, Honey, and Choco. We'll get to Choco in a second. And of course the main character, Yokoto. We think it is the dynamic of the classroom where Firen makes fun of Yakuto for looking weak. That's when Makoto defends him. And of course, Renzin then has to pick a fight with Hain, and those two just start a straight up sword fight in the middle of the classroom. Makoto then asks Yokoto if he's willing to die to be turned into one of her puppets, that she would love to have a dragon. Yeah, this girl's crazy. That's the quickest thing I learned from this scene. She likes her dead and she likes to play with them. Okay, so let's talk about Choco, because he finally gets a proper introduction. He's technically descended from Yagurasu, but the thing is, he's just a normal crow, and he's most likely the mascot of the show. The fact of the matter is, he really is weak. The only reason he survived the anthell is the fact that he didn't actually go into it. When the ground opened up underneath everyone, he literally just flew up and didn't fall. That's how he passed. Sheer luck. Their homeroom teacher finally walks in, and it's Maxwell, which makes sense because he was the one giving the exam, so this would be the exam for his students. And he basically explains to them who he is, and then Yakuto interrupts him and asks, what is the Earth world like, the human realm? And the response is, it's basically as big as the demon realm, which is an insane thing to say out loud. The demon realm has multiple layers, which means whatever this world is, it's huge. And the demons that pass basically get to go off into the human realm and do as they please, where they're most likely competing with each other over regional power, because the humans are super weak, so the demons just are able to dominate them. Yakuto is concerned if the humans are being treated well, but Maxwell laughs and basically says that they deserve to suffer because of how weak they are, yada yada yada. And then Yakuto just fucking obliterate Maxwell's head, just splatters against the wall. Everyone in the classroom freaks the fuck out. Fiery then basically falls in love with him at this moment. Like I said before, she isn't just into fighting, she just likes violence in general. So basically all the women in this are fucking crazy. Yeah, so this is where Yakuto's flip is switched and his personality is completely different. He basically gets super serious and very aggressive, where he looks at everyone and says that they're going to help him in his goal. That's why he joined this school in the first place. He has no interest of ever going to the human realm. Now, his ultimate goal is to kill God. As you can imagine, they all take this news as psychotic because he's God, so he's the most powerful being there is, so none of them think that's even possible. And second, he's not even being secretive about it. He straight up says it on the first day of school and kills the homeroom teacher off the bat. So I have no idea where this is gonna go, because there's no way there can be like a Hunter exam style thing if the main class is basically rampaging through everything to kill God. So everything basically just went sideways at the end of the story. Unless there's going to be a twist at the beginning of the next chapter where Maxwell's able to regenerate and basically makes fun of him and says, sit down in your seat. If that doesn't happen, then I have no idea where all this shit is going. But yeah, this is pretty cool so far. Really did enjoy this chapter. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Deadrock and other anime things. Thank you, and have a great day.